Welcome to the F Factor 19 to 25-year-olds National Final at Founders of the Future Forum. I'm your host, Pierre Nyongwa, co-founder of Founders of the Future, and I'm really excited to host this 6th edition F Factor Final. So the F Factor is Founders of the Future nationwide startup competition for under 25 aspiring entrepreneurs to promote entrepreneurship and social impact using the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals as a framework. We really believe in building a purpose-driven next generation of tech founders, and this is why we're heavily promoting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals throughout the whole competition. So it is not mandatory for participants to work on those goals, but impact is one of the 5 judging criteria that the participants are assessed against throughout the whole competition. So, for this final, there was a long road for our finalists to get there, and longer even because of COVID. So before this national final, they had to go through 3 rounds of judging. It started with our online qualifier, which where we received 600 application since October 2019, 450 for the 19 to 25-year-old category, 150 for the 14 to 18-year-old category. And what they had to do is present their startups in 2 sentences, send us a link to a prototype or a seemingly working prototype, and a 2-minute video pitch. From then, we narrowed down to 100 projects that went to the regional semi-final, which was an online live pitch in front of judges and Q&A with judges that were, and the judges were in our offices. And when we narrowed that down to 40 regional finalists and 5 standalone events. And so that was back in March 2020. Just before COVID hit, and we managed to sneak 4 regional physical final in Edinburgh, Birmingham, Bristol, and Manchester. And we had to do our Greater London final fully online. So each of the participants you're going to see won the regional final and already received £1,000 of equity-free cash. And now they're going to compete for the grand prize of £10,000. So before we get started, I really like to kind of thank our sponsor. We have first Life Skills, which is a program by Barclays that helps teenagers and young adults in their career and personal development. And we have EY. And to present EY, I'd like to hand it over now to Joanna Santino, tax partner and partner of the Entrepreneur of the Year Award at EY, to say a few words.
Thanks, Pierre. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be attending today's event, and I'm confident that you've got a really fantastic afternoon ahead of you. For those of you who haven't heard of us before, EY are one of the big 4 accounting and professional services firms. Our purpose is to build a better working world for our clients, and for our people and for the communities that we live and work in. And that's why we're really pleased to be involved in something that has impact so high on its agenda in terms of the entrepreneurs. Our teams have the experience and the passion to support private businesses and their owners in unlocking the potential of their own ambitions. We offer insights born from the long history that we have of working with business owners and entrepreneurs, often using technology to help them to improve their businesses and to support them to make better business decisions. We have 21 offices in the UK. 19 of them are now open today, albeit they've been shut for most of the summer, and we operate across the globe. But most importantly, we feel that humanity is capable of great things. And to build something of long-term value takes grit, persistence, and a sense of ambition that's free of doubt or fear, mostly. It takes a special kind of leader to ignore the critics and to transform a complete dream into a new reality that contributes value and purpose beyond simply the profits that they can make. Over the years, we've been in the UK for 20 years as Entrepreneur of the Year. We've celebrated and supported and connected over 3,000 entrepreneurs here. And during that time, I've always been proud of them. But this year, I've been overwhelmed and so proud of all of our entrepreneurial community amidst the uncertainty and chaos that COVID-19 has brought. Some of our entrepreneurs, we've seen them adapt so quickly to the changing needs of their customers and their broader communities, while also adapting to new ways of working for themselves and their teams. And with true entrepreneurial spirit, many have shown innovation, resilience, and the ability to identify new opportunities. And in fact, some have done amazingly well and flourished so much in the last 12 months. It's just been fantastic to see. Many have recognised that our society desperately needed certain supplies, products, and they repurposed their production lines to respond to the national need, regardless actually of the industry or sector in which they operate in, while simultaneously navigating their own challenges. So I'm sure many of you on this call today have also taken inspiration from some of the pivotal leaders that you've seen over the last 6 months. But to come back to today, we're really proud to be sponsoring this fantastic event and to see so many young budding entrepreneurs here this afternoon. It's just brilliant. Congratulations on winning your regions and reaching the final of the competition. I'm really looking forward to seeing some of you in the future in Entrepreneur of the Year. And so best of luck to all of you with today's pitches and as you continue on your own exciting entrepreneurial journey to innovate, disrupt markets and to create jobs yourselves. You will be the true drivers of growth and the engine of the UK economy in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joanna. And yeah, we're glad to have EY as a partner, and there's so much overlap between our nationwide competition and the Entrepreneur of the Year award. So now we have a great panel of judges to assess our participants. So I'll now just let each of the judges to introduce themselves really quickly, maybe say a few words of encouragement to our participants. And maybe I'll start with you, Sarah, who is just next to me in the grid.
Hey, hi everyone. I'm Sarah Wood, co-founder and former CEO of Unruly, the global video marketplace. Launched in 2006, sold to News Corp in 2015. Since then, I've become board member at TechNation, which is the UK network for ambitious tech entrepreneurs. And also I'm an investor in the tech and wellbeing space. I just want to say, wow, the fact that you are here today tells me that already you are highly impactful, highly effective leaders and entrepreneurs. So just enjoy this. I'm so excited to hear about your brilliant business ideas and feel very privileged to be with you here today.
Amazing. Thank you, Sarah. Noor, can we go with you next?
Absolutely. I'm just getting my video running. Hi, everyone. It's great to be here, and thank you for having us join. Really impressed with all the founders and everyone that we've seen so far, and really looking forward to hearing everything that you're working on. And congratulations and good luck.
Thank you, Noor. And now, Richard, over to you to introduce yourself really quickly.
Hey, so yeah, I'm Richard, good to meet you all. My background is I'm one of the founders of Instant Smoothies, and after we exited that 5 years ago, we set up JamJar Investments, and now we back UK startups that have a strong social purpose.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. And as you can see, the participants, our judges are nice and welcoming. So just enjoy the show. So now we'll get started. And the way it's going to work is that each participant will have 3 minutes to present. They will share their screen and we'll see their slides, and then 3 minutes of questions. So you won't be able to see the timer, but you will hear from my mic a ring after 3 minutes, and same for the question, because we really need to be on pace. subjects. So to get started now, I'd like to invite Ilham from engineer to engineer. And Ilham is representing the Southeast and Southwest region. So Ilham, if you can turn your camera, and as soon as you're ready and your screen is shared, you can get started.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. So start whenever, and I'll take the time.
Why isn't receiving answers to my questions as easy as buying pizza? Ordered within the hour, delivered within minutes. Technology is transforming every sector of the world, but with education, we've gone from a blackboard to a white one. We believe there's a better way to solve problems. Student to student, student to lecturer, question to answer, engineer to engineer. My name is Ilham, founder of E2E, and we want to create an environment where every question counts. This is Emma, a computer science student working on a problem, and she gets stuck. She has 4 options. She could email the lecturer, but inboxes get overloaded. Wait for an office hour that only occurs once a week, but what if her exam is in a few days? She could rely on her internal network of peers. Chat groups are good, but people get left out. If all else fails, she can try Google, but getting the right information takes time. There are millions of students in the same position as Emma. E2E offers Emma the opportunity to ask that question to hundreds of thousands of people. Within minutes, she gets a response. Our tool connects students, lecturers, and businesses to validated information anywhere in the world. This growing wealth of data can also provide targeted feedback to users, universities, so they understand how students learn, think, and develop. What we have created is an instant peer-to-peer feedback system with AI functionality. Emma now has access to a smart communication platform. Our technology will help her identify her strengths, weaknesses, and gaps in knowledge, and our solution also provides targeted feedback for lecturers on what they should be focusing on. We are bridging the gap between students, universities, and industry. Universities can get valuable information to improve positioning and efficiency, and industry will have access to a marketplace of talented students. What if we could bring what WhatsApp or Facebook has done for social interactions, or Slack for better connecting employees in the workplace, to higher education and become the go-to platform for academic and professional development? In 6 months, the University of Bristol have trusted E2E to provide the best solutions for the Faculty of Engineering, where they paid us £3,000 to test. What started as a WhatsApp group between friends morphed into 600 users at one of the leading universities in the UK. Our projected growth shows that we will reach 2,000 students by the end of this year. The UK has 200,000 STEM students. We aim to target every university in the UK with a STEM department. Our team is well positioned since we are the target market and the students experiencing these challenges. E2E is a response to the problems we face. Our business model is based on 4 individual revenue streams, 2 of which are long-term and rely on university and business subscription. Winning the F Factor National Finals will enable us to scale the team and build the right IT infrastructure to allow us to reach 10,000 users within 2 years. E2E offers users a learning platform that works like them, not the contrary. And besides, you can get your questions answered in time for your pizza delivery. At E2E, we make problem solving easy and learning easier. Thank you.
Amazing. Right on the dot of 3 minutes. So now we're going to restart another timer for question with the judges. So judges, go ahead.
Hey, Sarah here. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Awesome presentation. Thank you so much. Absolutely love this, and great to see that the inspiration is your own experiences. So you clearly know this market so well. How do you think about growing that network of users? What's your strategy for growing that user network and reaching the 10K users you aim to get within the next few years?
Well, to give you an example, the users that we managed to get at Bristol University were all based on word of mouth. So we didn't really put a lot of effort into marketing, because when you're targeting a problem that a lot of students need, you really don't need to put a lot of effort into reaching out to students because they kind of need the help. And we kind of have lecturers who are current E2E users kind of advocating E2E to their colleagues, and students speaking about it with other students. And then we've even had other universities, students from other universities come up to us and ask us if they can open it for their university. So really that network effect is really strong for our idea.
Thank you.
Do you have another question from Noor or Richard?
Hi, I have a question. I'd like to know, in your ideal world in 3 years or 5 years, what does this look like? How many users? How big does it get? How many problems are you solving?
That's a very good question. So in 3-5 years' time, we really see eTWE becoming the go-to platform for rapid problem solving, whether that's students facing problems or companies facing industry-related problems. We really see that because we're basically building a community and a knowledge architecture of like rapid problem solvers, and which are engineers. So we really see it scaling super quickly so if we can really open it up to as many investors as possible initially, and then bring as many companies in as possible, we are able to reach 20,000 users within 2 years. So it's completely scalable because it's user produced content, and yeah.
All right, we have a bit of time for question. Richard, maybe?
Have you got any favourite little personal stories that have come from the trial so far, of any problems that have been solved that are particularly kooky or interesting or funny, or that would be a story that I can pass on as an example of the kind of benefit of the product?
Sorry, could you repeat that question? I couldn't quite hear it.
Is it you couldn't hear me or you didn't understand it?
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
So is that any better? We're in a new meeting with new tech, so it's all a bit patchy. I was just wondering if you had a human story of from the existing users of a very either cute or funny or a compelling story of when they've helped solve a problem. I could then tell other people that this is an example of the benefits.
Yeah, so we have actually quite a lot of testimonials because part of our process is kind of gathering that user feedback. So what I can give you a student one where he kind of messaged me and told me that the platform has helped him build confidence to like asking questions and wanting to become a better engineer. And it's kind of saved him a lot of sleepless nights, because rather than spending hours and hours on a problem, he could just ask it on the eTWE and then he'll receive a response within 24 hours is our policy. So it really did save him a lot of time, a lot of sleepless nights. And I know a lot of engineers or any student can relate of kind of having their small little study groups of like people. So we really want to make that into a larger scale than it currently is. But yeah.
And does it have to be STEM? I mean, it seems to be this could be wider than that. I mean, I get it starting there, but this could be for any student, right?
Yeah, we decided to focus initially on STEM because I'm an engineer myself, and that's an area that I know most, that I know better. So really targeting that area really well before expanding into other areas is the best strategy, we think. If you look at Amazon, they started with books, sold books really well before they moved on to selling other things. So we're kind of following the same strategy, and it's been working really well for us.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Ilham, and engineer to engineer. So now we're going to go for the second participants. And now it's going to be the turn of Abel from Propria Mixa. And Abel is representing the Scotland and Northern Ireland region. So Abel, share your screen, and as soon as you're ready, I'll start the timer.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Cool, I'll start. Hi, good afternoon, fellow judges. My name is Abel Lamoes, and I'm the founder of Propria Mixa Lottery. In the capital of Angola, Luanda, illegal gambling shops are thriving, and they may spread to other parts of the country. This is causing a massive tax evasion and a surge in underage gambling, which can promote other criminal activities. Propria Mixa is a company that aims to provide legal and practical lottery systems to the rising Angolan economy. Many forms of commerce in Africa don't work because they don't take advantage of the informal market, which is and will be dominant in the continent. Propria Mixa wants to change that by bringing mobile technology to the street markets and a transparent business model. By using Android terminals, vendors could easily access sales information and stay connected to a database to avoid any possible fraud. The company also aims to hire mostly university students to promote the creation of part-time jobs. Each ticket costs 200 kwanzas, equivalent to 30 cents, and the jackpot is 15,000 kwanzas, which is equivalent to 30 pounds. For each ticket sold, 20% goes to the government, unfortunately. 40% goes to the company, which includes operational expenses and profit, and 30% goes to the jackpot buildup and backup. The model seems to work since in 2019, we sold close to 4,000 tickets with only 6 draws, and these were small locations. The results are announced on Facebook and on Instagram. The prizes can be handed in person or directly deposited in a bank account. Instead of increasing the jackpot, our system increases the number of winners after each jackpot that wasn't won, which is better because more people have a chance to win. In the future, we also plan to provide other prizes such as laptops, smartphones, and even trade courses. The Angolan government is promoting a competition for private companies to operate the local lotteries, and only 2 are enrolled. We are the first ones to obtain a local permit, and we are bidding to get a national one. As opposed to our opponents, we are already operational and ready to grow. We already won $5,000 in the competition in the United States, which funded our initial activities. And after winning the F Factor today, we will get even more credibility and capital. We believe that Prape Misha has showed the potential to become the national lottery and maybe in the future operate in neighboring countries. Besides providing taxes to the government and providing a platform for people to bet safely and responsibly, we want to aim to give people a chance to dream and have some fun. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abel. Now, and even ahead of time, so now we have 3 minutes for question with the judges.
Hey, Abel, a fantastic presentation, super clear, really interesting concept. What gave you the idea? Could you give some kind of cultural context as to the role of lotteries and the role they play in Angola, and also give us a sense of how difficult it might be to procure that national permit? And well done for getting a local one.
Oh, thank you. So I lived in the US for a while, and I noticed that in the college I studied, a lot of projects were funded by the National Lottery. And I was interested because in Angola, so many little things can lack funding. And the lottery can help that by, of course, by being legalized. And many of these shops are taking advantage of that because the government is focusing on other aspects. But it's something that needs to be controlled. And when it's controlled, it can be managed and legalized, essentially, yeah. So that's mainly why.
Of course, for good, yeah.
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 And the national license permit, we were one of the first ones to apply because we already started and they saw that we had some progress, some track in it. So we already have a head start.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Other judges' questions?
Who are you going up against? I know you started by saying there's the illegal informal gambling shops. Who else is sort of in the competitor landscape, as it were?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
I'm trying to work out who else will you be competing against? I know this is to hopefully prevent people using illegal gambling, but there must be many ways people can have a little flutter. I'm just working out what's the competitive landscape.
Our only competitor is a company that does sports betting. That's our biggest competitor. Yeah, they're getting a bit of a head start because they're already kind of known in the region for sports gambling, but they don't really do lottery. They focus on sports gambling. If they decide to go that way, they would be a direct competitor. But right now, they just focus on sports gambling.
And where are you in the world? Are you there now? Is your plan to be you'll be on the ground doing it, or did you do something?
Yeah, I will be on. Yeah, I'll be on the ground. Yeah.
Right, we have time for maybe one last question. Maybe Noor.
I just go back to, it's a great idea, and I don't understand the landscape, so I'm just going to go with whatever Richard did on the competitive stuff. And I just think that if you look forward, kind of, if you believe you're solving a real problem, how does the world change in 3 or 5 years? Like, where does this company land in 5 years that actually really solves a real problem?
Government contract, because you get access to more funding and you can expand at a higher level. So with that expansion, you can solve little problems. My goal was actually so I didn't mention this, but 10% of all of our profit we donated to small organizations. So if you have Propria Misha in each city, we can donate 10% of the profit and help small infrastructures that the government doesn't reach.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much, Abel. Great presentation and answering questions. So now we're going to go with our third participants, which is Beth, who's going to present Patchwork Hub, and she's representing the Greater London region. So when you're ready to share your screen and you tell me you're ready to start, I'll start the timer.
Great, thanks. So the idea for Patchwork Hub arose from my disability advocacy work and my own experience of living with a disability. I kept meeting highly skilled people with various health conditions, either working unsustainably or unable to work a conventional 9-to-5 job, but they wanted to work for themselves, use their skills, and build their career and income. And what I encountered is part of a much wider issue. Globally, as acknowledged in the Sustainable Development Goals, millions are excluded from employment because they can't work 9-to-5 in an office. In the UK alone, 1 million disabled people are able and willing to work, but can't because there's no accessible way for them to do so. Meanwhile, businesses can't afford to spend big on recruitment at a time when social responsibility has never been more important in consumer decision-making. 87% of consumers would use a company based on its advocacy of a social issue. There's a clear requirement for a low-cost, socially responsible way for businesses to connect with the skilled talent they need. Enter Patchwork Hub. Patchwork Hub is an accessible employment platform for anyone whose personal circumstances prevent them leaving the house. Through the online platform, a person can connect with employers offering tasks, projects, or permanent employment. Or they can also connect with training to upskill themselves and easily access the centralised resources and support they need, a true one-stop shop. Our business model is simple and in line with competitors such as Fiverr and Upwork. For task-based remote work, there'll be a 12% commission per transaction, while for permanent job postings, we offer a range of packages for all needs, cheaper than typical job boards. Since winning the regional finals in March, I've developed the prototype and we worked hard to secure a letter of intent from a FTSE 100 company, alongside backing from a variety of stakeholders. We just need F-Factors funding and support to take this forward. I validated the idea through extensive market research and testing with both potential users and employers. Since our first pitch, the pandemic served as conclusive validation that a person can still work productively even if they can't leave their home. We can see that remote working works, so we should seize the opportunity to bring in a forgotten pool of talent. Our market research shows that despite the rise of remote working, existing talent platforms lack accessibility, with 85% of disabled people reporting they feel unable to use existing platforms. By 2025, McKinsey predicts the market size for online talent platforms will add a $2.7 trillion boost to global GDP. So why shouldn't a sustainable social enterprise, with inclusion at its core, be one of the first to market? Accessibility doesn't always have to be an afterthought. It can and should be fully integrated into the future of work. The SDG goal to have decent work for all by 2030 is far from realised, yet I'm well placed to drive forward this unique solution. I'm someone who has a disability, but I've graduated from Oxford, from Harvard, and was audience and market insight lead for a national disability charity. I've been working really hard on our launch strategy, and this feels like a real moment of opportunity for an accessible remote working platform. Patchwork can be a vehicle for real social impact, and we'd love for F-Factor to give us the fuel. Thank you for listening.
Amazing. Right on the dot again. So now 3 minutes of question with the judges.
Thank you so much. My goodness, Beth, that is the most incredible mission and very timely. Also, super impressive deck and presentation. To what extent do you imagine the business continuing to be focused on accessibility, or to what extent do you think it would be possible to grow it quickly and scale it so that it encompasses anyone who wants to remote work, which is now a huge portion of the workforce?
I think incredibly quickly, and I think that's the sort of beauty of Patchwork Hub. That's what makes this unique from other disability-specific platforms. Is making it accessible for disabled people. Just actually makes it more accessible for everybody. So that's why we're sort of trying to do it where it's not sort of traditional like disabled, where like wheelchair logo and whatever. Like it's nothing to do with disability. It's just about being an accessible remote working platform and can scale really quickly.
Super cool. Mm-hmm.
And sorry, this is just a question of clarification. Do you need to have a disability to be on the platform?
No, not at all. There's no criteria at all for it. We started out as for anyone whose personal circumstances prevent them leaving the house. That was sort of from carers and parents. Obviously, the pandemic has greatly increased the demographic that fit into that. But there's absolutely no criteria for using the platform at all. It's just so the majority of the profits go into the company as well, which makes us different from competitors.
And so then on the supply side of opportunities, most opportunities that exist that are online or digital should be available to the platform.
Yes.
Okay.
So, there's both trends as well in terms of permanent job postings or task-based permanent job posting. People also only able to work part-time things in smaller, shorter bursts. Why also it lends itself well to working part-time and doing smaller projects and tasks.
Can I ask one more quick question?
Yeah, we have a bit more time.
You mentioned FTSE 100 company who is interested to be working with you. What did they say attracted them to the platform, and do you think that's repeatable?
Yes, definitely. And partly it was thanks to the exposure of F Factor that we were able to secure that. For our FTSE 100 company, they're dedicated to trying to improve diversity. And I think a lot of corporates are. There's like the Valuable 500, which a lot of corporates have signed on to, which says they're dedicated to like improving their inclusion, but they don't yet know how and how to like do that proactively. And this is like a great way to do it, but it's not like as sort of a tick boxing exercise to do the sort of right thing. It actually works well, and like it's proven that that workers with unique personal circumstances are actually like more productive and more efficient, and actually highly skilled as well. Sometimes people might think that disabled people are less highly skilled, whereas actually the disabled self-employed are highly skilled in 42% are highly skilled in the top 3 occupational categories.
Now, there
All right.
Sorry.
Sorry, Sarah. We're going to have to move on to the next pitches to stay on time. But thank you very much, Beth, for a great pitch. So now moving on to our 4th project. So we're going to have Edmund present Lenwill, and Edmund is representing the Northeast, Northwest, and Yorkshire region. So whenever you are ready, you can get started, and I'll start the timer.
Hi everyone, my name is Edmund. I'm the founder of Lenwill, an all-inclusive car subscription platform that allows customers to book a car as easy as subscribing to a Netflix account. So our mission and vision is to revolutionize the way we view car ownership, and by partnering with fleet providers and dealerships and OEMs to provide forward-thinking car mobility marketplace for the next generation of drivers. So the problem that we're solving is, although there's many ways of getting a car, the process still remains difficult. This is from organizing cover to working with dealerships to outdated approaches such as paperwork and credit checks to rigid contracts that can range up to 56 months. So our platform. So our solution is a monthly all-inclusive car subscription platform that's flexible, all-inclusive, and all-in-app that allows customers to sign up to book within 5 minutes space and have everything included in their car subscription from breakdown cover to insurance. Our product is a sleek, seamless, and streamlined solution on our website that allows users to sign up, fill in the information, book the car, customize the subscription from including breakdown cover, optional insurance, and MOT and servicing, which then allows them to also book the MOT and servicing schedules on our platform directly, and unrivaled flexibility from month to month to fixed term subscriptions. Our market size. Well, the UK is the 3rd largest lease market globally, generating 15.8 billion a year, with 91% of new cars being done so through some sort of lease deal. And how we make money is we're building fee per subscription each month, with add-ons such as telematics as well, which is B2B, and admin costs such as late fees and inconvenience such as PCNs. So our competitors. So although the car subscription space is a relatively new space, there have been some early adopters such as Elmo, which focus on the electric market, Wagonex and CarPay, which focuses on the directly from OME, such as CarPay being with Land Rover and Wagonex being with Renault. And then our closest competitor is DroveUp, which offers the same similar solution to us, but more rigid and 6-month solution. Our go-to-market plan is through customer exposure, which we do so far for dealerships, as we offer a ready structured solution for their month-to-month subscriptions, concierge companies, and obviously the car being a viral content, heavily focused on our car content as well. We also took a book up Airbnb to do dual posting or auto trade on CarWow, and we've been playing around with online ads such as Facebook and Google. So our milestones to date. So since winning the regional final and our launch in July, the regional final was £1,000 allowed us to become FCA and ICO approved, further website updates and customer knowledge tools. 3 months later, we're able to now boast a monthly recurring revenue of £9,000 from 30 subscriptions and 350 plus users. Our team is made up of a team that has known each other for 8+ years. It's been from school and university. Me and Emily going to Newcastle University together. Me and Glody going to school together. We've also worked on previous projects together growing up, various projects I'll be happy to explain to you further on. So what does the £10,000 mean to us? It allows us to invest in understanding our customers further and our unique selling point and what draws them to car subscription as itself. This will also fuel us towards our 500 subscription target, which allows us to validate our proof of model and then lead us to our next investment round, hopefully in the further future. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Edmund. Now we have 3 minutes of question with the judges.
Can I just start by firstly saying, well done, mate, because you've got this thing up and running, you've got paying customers, and that is a massive thing. You've crossed the Rubicon, and you've already achieved what 99.9% of them managed to achieve. So well done. I would love to know just a little bit more about why you doing this. What's the backstory, and just a little bit more about who as much as you know it, who are the current consumers? How are they using the product? Why are they using the product? What were they doing before using the product?
Our team's background is we're all from London, and as anyone could know, London has a car enthusiast ecosystem. We've all been through the car buying process and been locked into rigid contracts ourselves, going into contracts, not understanding layman terms of it and getting confused in what we're actually signing, what we're signing up to. So we actually sat down and figured out how can we make this as simple as buying a t-shirt? How can we make a user know what they're signing up to, know what they're subscribing to, and know exactly what's in and out of their details, and also the fun part of customizing your subscription. Because you may want a car, but you may want to use your own insurance or our insurance, and knowing that all your monthly payments are under one roof gives the customer the freedom to know that every month on the first, that's my car, everything with my car sorted out. Also knowing that the technology is there to do that, and our dealerships are forward thinking to do strategies such as also covering MOT and servicing costs as well. And so what was your second question? So I can just highlight that as well.
Just a little bit of colour on the current customer. Who are they? What were they doing before?
Our current customers, we put them to two categories. We have short-term renters and long-term renters. Renters who are already familiar with the leasing way. So they're already signed up to, say, 12, 18, 32-month leases, and like a more flexible solution that allows them to cancel when they want, how they want, and also just in case their financial situation changes, which is very vital in this current ecosystem, in this current atmosphere, as people are losing their jobs and still tied into contract they can clearly not afford. We also have short-term subscribers who are used to renting, and as everyone knows, 6 or a car rental company, when approaching the months, can get really quite cost expensive. And also a funny story, which I actually figured out with a lot of customers, is our ability to not do credit checks, but affordability checks, which helps customers that are actually looking to, say, get a house. So they wouldn't want to get on their finance deal that could affect their possibilities of actually getting a mortgage later on down the line. So with us, we just do a affordability check done by Credit Kudos that allows us to have a breakdown of their net income and outgoings, and allows them to act as a credit check, but without leaving that credit note on their file.
All right. So we went to a few questions. So maybe I have time for one more, Sarah or Noor.
So to me, it just seems like it's a simplified way of renting a car as opposed to like going to Hertz that I guess used to exist. Is there a minimum on the subscription? And when you think about the long-term sustainability of the business, how does that come into play?
So we work on a month-to-month basis, which allows users to subscribe month-to-month, but we've also added in a fixed term subscription as well. So for users, we have users who are already taking out cars on month-to-month, but they have a duration plan of a year to 18 months. So we allow our dealerships to actually have a price structure that gets cheaper the longer you take it, the more you commit. So if you was just someone you're unaware of how long you'd like to keep the car for, you can do month to month. If you're someone that you know you want a car just for 18 months, you're allowed to do that as well. The long-term goal is we're planning ourselves a runway to hit our 500 subscription target, and we have minimum expenses. With all our team being recent graduates, we was able to keep our expenses dirt cheap using free tools such as GitHub to do our tech, because I do the tech behind the team. Which have been really great. And our growth has just been tremendous. I guess the problems that we're having at the moment is we are trying to work out a demand, because we have more demand than cars available on our platform itself. So with that, as long as we fix the demand and we fix our drop-off system, which has been really a headache, such as I have to go tomorrow to Manchester to drop off a car. Once that's fixed up, then it's only looking upwards from there, hopefully.
Congrats, that's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Edmund, for your presentation. So now, last but not least, of course, we're going to have Farah and Ethan, who are going to present the Bread Brood project, and they're representing the Midlands, Wales, and Eastern region. So whenever you are ready to share your screen, I'm going to take the time and you can start.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How can 1 million loaves of bread be thrown away every day in the UK? And yet 38% of the children in Nottingham live below the breadline. I'm Farah.
And I'm Ethan.
And we are the Bread Brood Project. The Bread Brood Project tackles the paradox of food waste and food poverty through our innovative social enterprise. We tackle food waste by upcycling bread to brew beer, and we tackle child food poverty by using our profits to fund meals at school breakfast clubs. We address 7 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
We validated the problem of food waste and poverty through meeting with organizations tackling these issues. We then proposed a bill of recalls to potential consumers, which was met with an overwhelming positive response. Our business model is simple. We provide the brewery with fresh surplus bread from our partners, which would have otherwise gone to landfill. The breweries then upcycle this bread to produce our beer and distribute it to their network of pubs. We are paid on a commission basis per cask, keg, or can sold, and our profits go to funding meals at school breakfast programs tackling food poverty.
In September, we launched our Baker's Pale Ale, but after seeing the way technology has been used by a university's food innovation team, we were inspired to create our new coffee-infused beer, Breakfast Brew. This beer is produced from used coffee grounds which would otherwise go to waste. We are serving in 74 outlets nationally and secured contracts to supply our beer at Detonate Festival and in co-op stores. To date, we have brewed 7,200 litres of beer with 375 kilograms of surplus bread, which has saved 1,576 kilograms of CO2 emissions from being released into the atmosphere.
Since the F Factor Regional Finals, our business has expanded, and we have gone even further to provide an additional 4,620 meals to school breakfast clubs. With the closure of pubs and restaurants due to COVID-19, we saw the opportunity to adapt our business model by introducing nationwide home delivery. This ensured that even during such an unprecedented time, we could still operate and create a meaningful impact for children when they needed it most.
If this is what we could do with £1,000, imagine what we could do with 10,000. With this incredible prize money, we can invest in a microbrewery system, allowing us to experiment with new surplus ingredients, register as a B Corp certified business, and work with a professional web designer to develop our Bread Brood website with e-commerce capabilities.
We are transforming the future of food.
Operating at the forefront of food innovation.
Minimizing the detrimental impact of food waste.
And eradicating child food poverty.
But it doesn't stop here.
With our team members graduating this year and next, we aim to continue running the Bread Brood project full-time.
With the support of the F Factor, we know we can achieve this.
So let's raise a glass to positive times. Cheers.
All right, well done to the Bread Brood project. Now a 3-minute of question with the judges.
Look, guys, that was a brilliant presentation, and what's even more impressive is that you got this, you're doing this already. So I just want to say big congratulations, and also thank you for introducing to me the fact I can drink beer to do good. That's a very exciting proposition. How do you split your time? And you do this full time? Who does what in the project? Is it sustainable for you to commit that amount of time going forward?
So on our team, we've got 5 people. 3 of them have just graduated university, and me and Farah are going into our final year. So as we said, with us all graduating very soon, we are looking to take this on full time and invest even more time. But because it is just such a great project and we are so passionate about it, we do manage to find the time. We split roles within ourselves, and we're quite flexible and adaptable to work for the project.
More questions?
Yeah, hi, question for me. Wow, so many incredible ideas that you brought to fruition and are already delivering on so rapidly. Beautiful deck as well, it's astonishing. Question around focus, I guess. So it feels as though there's lots of ideas, there's lots of ways the business could move, whether it's D2C, whether it's working with breweries, having your own microbrewery. How are you decision making? How do you know what to focus on first, and what are the kind of decision making processes you have within your group of founders?
So initially, this project started between just 2 of the team members, and they found this idea by working in a different project similar to the Bread Brood project, but also linked to food poverty and reducing food waste. So the inspiration was already there, but after seeing that there's so much bread going to waste, 40% of bread in the UK is going to waste, they knew that this was something that we could definitely work with. So amongst them, they started pitching up ideas, recruited a few more members, and we started by just pitching the ideas to students on our campus, just to see if this was an idea that would take off before eventually producing a lot more around the city, and then of course nationally. In terms of how we just make decisions going forward, it is a lot of just speaking to our customers and our consumers. So a big part of our project is our social media campaign. We love to be interacting with our community, speaking directly to customers at our beer launches, at our pub launches, and really just involving them as much as possible, because it's definitely a social mission, and that means that we want to include them as much as we're involved in it. And just make sure the community is just sort of working together.
Yeah.
All right, so we've reached our time for the questions, and also we're going to have to close the session. So I just want to say congratulations to every participant. It's really not an easy thing to do. And we also thank you to our judges. We're now actually going to take the judges backstage and deliberate, and make sure to tune in at 7:15 if you want to see the results and see who is the winner. But now, next up in the Founders of the Future Forum, we have our session Black Lives Matters. What does it mean for the next gen of tech founders, with music legend Nile Rodgers? So don't miss it. It's actually starting a couple of minutes at 2:55. So thank you, everyone. For the judges, we've sent you the link that we need to go to straight after. And yeah, stay tuned in to the Founders of the Future Forum.